This is Fuck the Latte entry 5, I believe. It might be 6. I'll have to go back and check before I do this description of it. But it was important. It had the, oh my god, are you kidding me? Why did it go? I lost my place again. Okay. This is something that I need people to understand about all of life, okay? And it usually comes up when people are trying to talk about a religion. All religions are groups of stories, according to their own religion. They're groups of stories of supposed witnesses of that time, whether you're talking about 30,500 years ago, whether you're talking about 6,000 years ago, whether you're talking about the one 700 years ago, or whatever. Not here to get into religious debate. I'm here to get into a human understanding, okay? All of these stories of all your holy books, including all of your stories of Peter Pan, of children's fairy tales, you know, Mother Goose's book of children's fairy tales, of the Harry Potter series, of the Twilight series, of all these billions of books and stories that are out there now, okay? All of these stories were stories told by other people. My text, which is a very small snippet of the text, just says that they are explanations. These explanations helped humanity at a time when we did not understand the universe. Throughout the written history of humans, they have created these stories to explain things they didn't understand, to comfort difficult emotions, and to manipulate the masses. Okay? When people ask me why I don't believe in whichever holy book they're pushing on me, I let them know I understand the world. I know how life came from inanimate to animate, so where did life come from? I know that answer. I do not fear difficult emotions. Guilt, shame, those kind of things don't work on me. I understand that emotions are just messages from the mammalian brain to the logical brain, and what those messages actually mean. And I do not need to be manipulated by others. Now, with those three things being said, I want you to understand, I am not anti-religious. I believe religions are just an outdated byproduct because we as a society haven't done enough to teach the next generation that, one, we know where the world comes from. We know where these difficult answers are. Two, we have EQ now. We have emotional quotient intelligence. Why am I burping? Excuse me. And three, we don't need to manipulate people. We don't need to do the beatings and the shunnings and all the ridiculous, outdated crap that people still try to do, and then they call it good parenting. It's not good parenting. It's a show that you are lacking intelligence, whether it's emotional intelligence, whether it's financial intelligence. You know, you're lacking something. You need to improve your skills. It's like somebody who goes to a bike and then tries to fix the bike, and it's not working, so they kick the bike, they yell at the bike, they shun the bike, they put the bike up on a pedestal and say, oh my god, everyone throw eggs at this person, this bike is horrible. You're an idiot. And when you treat a human the way you just treated that bike, that doesn't make that human a bad person. It doesn't make that child a bad person. It makes you the idiot. And if you're too much of an idiot to understand you're an idiot, that's when we have a huge problem. And when enough of these idiots gather together, they call it religion, so that they can bully you and they can gang up on you for their stupidity and make you think that there's something wrong with you. When all that person had to do was educate themselves better on what was actually going on. I can't get over this fact, and that's really my passion in life, and I'm not sure how to efficiently deliver that yet with my life, and that's what I'm trying to find out right now, is the fact that you are the problem. If you can't handle a situation non-violently in a way that benefits everyone, then you are the problem, not the other people, not the situation, you. You need to work on your skills, not your blaming skills, not your justification skills, your coping skills. You need to work on this. And I don't know why there are so many people who refuse to accept that they are the problem and they need to learn. When people say that, oh, they don't understand their kids, so they're just going to yell at them and beat them and shun them. No, like, God damn it, pick up a book and not your holy book, okay? That's 2,000 years out of date, okay? If you're watching this, you're using a car. That wasn't part of your holy book. You're using cell phones. That wasn't part of your book. And if you're a female, you have the right to watch this. You have the right to walk down the street, to own your own stuff. You are not part of that outdated world. So why would you force that torture upon the next generation? And I do not understand this concept of why incompetent human beings are allowed to fuck other incompetent human beings. And now they have a piece of property for 18 years. And when this piece of property is 18, now it's a person. I don't get it. This is a fucked up society, and I'm doing my best to wrap my head around it and to figure out how I can have that next step. Okay? It is just completely mind-boggling to me how fucked up and how outdated these systems are when they don't need to be. Have you gone into a McDonald's where they didn't have a touchscreen? Have you gone into a McDonald's where they said, oh, we have to start a fire, and they go out there and they get some sticks? No! Things update. We move forward as a society. So our technology has moved forward greatly, yes, but socially, emotionally, we as a society have not done enough to help ourselves and our next generation to move forward emotionally. In fact, there are so many people who do their best to make sure their children do not do better than them, to make sure their children do not emotionally do better than them. They're beating them, they're shunning them, they're shaming them, they're filling them with fucking lies, straight out and out lies, because that makes them easier to manipulate. And when they're not easier to manipulate, they beat us more. They put us in specialty schools. They tell us we're the problem with societies. They tell us about their holy books. I'm not going to get into my personal lies that I've been told my whole life about how I'm not getting into it. Long story short, we have an obligation to ensure the emotional maturity of the next generation, which means we as a society, as a global society, have this obligation. I'm not the first person to believe this. I'm not the first person to act on this, not by far, which is why I'm a female and I have the freedom to be on my own, to share what I have, to not have to hide behind whatever bullshit you want to give me. The bottom line is, I am finding my path and my way to ensure that we have a much better system as a global society to be raising children who don't believe in the invisible magical people in the sky. Oh no! Who don't believe in the, oh, I can't be better than you. I have to be this little slave. Wage slaves? Give me a fucking break. We as a society need to create systems that help the next generation. Now, the most intelligent of us, we walk away from a conflict, which is why you don't see us rallying, you don't see us screaming, you don't see us yelling. You'll see us reading, you'll see us in a corner, you'll see us being antisocial around stupid people. You will see that we have published papers. You will see that we've created videos. You will see that we have calmly had a conversation with another intellectual, and we've shared ideas, and we've gone home and we've thought about it. That is our revolution, and that is the revolution we need to give to the next generation. For me, because of the way that I was raised up and because of the things I have witnessed in my life, I firmly believe that next evolutionary step for human society is to take away the family unit. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Just because you fucked you doesn't mean I'm your property, and doesn't mean you are competent enough to take care of my needs and what I need psychologically, emotionally, and financially. I think that's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm doing my best to understand how to build an efficient system to be able to raise children in a healthy manner, not to be beaten with shoes because they accidentally looked over their stroller. I'm not going to get into it. I'm getting into way too much. If you don't understand a situation, if you're getting worked up by a situation, such as I am now, and even worse, you're the problem. I know I'm the problem. I'm working on fixing my problem. My problem is I don't yet know how to put in place an efficient system to save these millions upon millions of children from incompetent human beings who believe in magical fairy people in the sky and who want to beat us and shun us and keep us quiet. That's ridiculous. That is stupid. I want to teach you to have a voice, to teach you to have your beliefs, which means not invisible magical people in the sky, but we're all here on the planet, and that's the only planet we have, so we need to get along. We need to take care of this planet so that we can move forward. We need to understand how the world really works. The world does not work by kissing someone's ass your entire life based on a book written by 12 or 10 men from 2,000 years ago, okay? That's not how it works. That is just not how reality works, and we've known this for hundreds of years. And if you stupid people believing in imaginary people would stop killing us people who are proving and writing the papers, we would be all so much better. Oh, well, my life has become better. Good. Now your life can be better without believing in imaginary people. Oh, no, it can't. You don't understand. You created this belief. You had the power to believe in something. It didn't actually exist. You believed in it. And you can see this example in children. When you're a child and you have, especially children of abusive homes, which unfortunately is everybody I fucking know, they have imaginary friends. They have that make-believe, or they get really attached to a certain character or a certain pop star, because it's how the human brain copes with social isolation, with social rejection. And just because you put that imaginary friend in the sky, and just because you make that pop star a character from a book, doesn't change the fact that it's still how the human brain copes. And if you started facing what you're coping with, instead of continuously being afraid of it and continuously denying it and continuously keeping yourself in this fucking stupid little tunnel, our lives would be so much better for the entire world. And that's what my life's work is about, is finding out how to, one, educate people about the reality of the world, not about shaming them and shunning them and telling them that they need to allow themselves to be manipulated. And it's only those kind of stupid people who would say, oh, well, if we don't beat children, then they're never going to learn. I've never beaten my children. I've never beaten any child. And yet every time I'm around, whether it's one child or 14 children, people are like, wow, how do you do that? How do you do that? Because I learned, because I studied, because I know they are human beings and I know how human beings work. If all you know about is slavery, is manipulation, is guilt and abuse and violence, well, no wonder why you're fucking miserable and can't get anything done in your life, people. Grow past it. Grow past it. I know the beatings. I know what it's like to have to go choose a switch from the fucking backyard. Doesn't mean I have to use it on my children, and doesn't mean I've ever used it on any child. Just because somebody was an idiot to you doesn't mean you have to turn around and be an idiot. Period. And stop with these bullshit excuses when I'm trying to handle a very difficult situation and people start trying to say, oh, well, just basically wish and hope and pray it'll be better and pretend that your imaginary friend is going to make everything better for you because your imaginary friend loves you. But if my imaginary friend is all powerful and loves me, why would they put me through this? Oh, well, it's just your trials and it's just your tribulations. They just want to make you stronger. It's all just this huge loop. Here's the subject. Huge. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not gonna look at what's really going on. Hello. I'm so frustrated. And it's on me. There is something I'm missing. There is something I'm not understanding. Now, I do understand that all of life is systems, whether it's quantum systems, biological systems. It all comes from quantum mechanical systems, and I'm understanding that better. I'm understanding the socialism, not as in the political movement, but as the need of a society to be social. I understand the biology of it, and I'm now trying to figure out how to implement that appropriately. Excuse me. Because anyone who's ever studied a holy book knows that it's a bullshit. I mean, anyone I've talked to who's only read a bit and a piece of it, they're only sticking with their religion because that's what their parents forced them to do, that's what all their friends forced them to do, and every time that they go away from it, people just shun them and guilt them so they come back. So that's just manipulative, emotional people. Those aren't the people I'm talking about. People who have actually studied their holy book, like I did. When people threw a holy book in my face and told me that I had to go do Awana and told me I had to sing these songs and had to do the school talent show, I started reading the books. I started reading the stories. I started saying, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. I started looking at, hey, when was this written? Oh, wait, this isn't the right version. There was a version before that. Oh, okay, well, let's study that. Oh, wait, that's not the right version. There was a version before that. Oh, let's study this. Wait a minute. Every single holy book you can get your hands on today is some version of another version of another version of translated from a language to another language to another language. Like, literally, the Harry Potter books 2,000 years from now in a language that we wouldn't even know or understand, and probably Harry is named Rumpelstiltskin, okay? The whole point of it is, if you actually study and learn the lies that you were raised up with, you realize they were lies. Now, here's the point I want to make. Don't hate the people who believe the lies. Don't hate us. Don't hate humans. We're growing. We're learning. People can only do what they can do with what they know. I don't believe in this hatred thing. It's so stupid to hate people. They are having coping skills. When you see a child and they've got this imaginary friend or they've got that special blanket, don't rip it away and say, well, you're just stupid. You're not helping anyone. You're not helping yourself, you're not helping the child, you're not helping society. What you need to do is give that child additional coping skills. And that means whether that child is 4 years old or 45 years old, they need better coping skills. Once the human brain finds something that works better for them, they're going to go ahead and get it. But if you deal with a human being that has been beaten, emotionally shunned, emotionally and financially and emotionally, psychologically manipulated for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, you can't expect them to be able to change, to just go, oh, okay, I see it, and go away. No. Remember, the brain works in neural pathways, okay? Every time the electrical signal goes through, that gets a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger, and it's a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. When you give your information something new, it's not going on that super highway of the brain. It's on that back little road, and it's that tiny little thing that's just, going over the roads and going over. So by the time your new information gets to that one area of the brain to the other, it's already had 17 different things that have come in to say, no, that's not right, that's not right. Put up a roadblock. And they put up a roadblock. You can't hate a human being for being a human being. And that, if we just believe that from childhood, oh my gosh, how wonderful that would be. Stop cutting up your children. Please, that's ridiculous. Stop beating your children. Stop shunning your children. Spankings, timeouts, beatings, hangings, emotional, psychological, what am I looking for? Public shamings. These things aren't beneficial to the human brain. Beating somebody for lying to you doesn't make them stop lying. It just makes them a better manipulator so that you don't find out that they're lying. That's it. I see things, I understand things that a huge portion of the world doesn't understand yet, isn't ready to see and accept yet. And I'm understanding that they're not able to see and accept that. So the question comes for me, how do I efficiently be able to share the knowledge with people who are frightened of knowledge? Yes, the obvious answer, of course, one portion of it is to raise the new generation with as much knowledge as possible. That has been the most efficient generationally, absolutely. But you know what? I'm here for at least another 70 years, so I'm going to think about it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not caring about what people think about me. I'm not caring what people say about me behind my back. I'm living generationally. I know that my life in the grand scheme of things is just a tiny group of particles moving around for a short amount of time, and then the energy dissipates and then I'm gone. I'm not afraid of this. I don't see a reason to be afraid of this. I am not egotistical. I am not so self-important that I have to carry on forever and ever and ever and ever. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to know that, yes, sometimes I rise, sometimes I fall, and every accomplishment I ever have will eventually be forgotten. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not prideful. I don't need the whole of society to always remember my name. I don't need that. I'm not egotistical. I'm not prideful. I'm just not full of myself. And part of it is because of my generation that I was able to find the internet. I was in high school before the internet really became a part of school curriculum. I do remember having a assignment. I don't even remember what subject it was anymore, but I do distinctly remember that the book they gave me had wrong information. So I wrote my paper correctly. And I cited where I got my information from to prove that it was correct, that their book was wrong. And they gave me a failing grade for it. So hell no. Hell no. You need to learn. This is supposed to be a learning institution. You need to learn when you're wrong. If I'm wrong, you correct me, and I'm supposed to accept it and appreciate your wisdom. So why the fuck isn't it two ways? And I was having this conversation with someone the other day, I have it all the time, where supposedly it's okay for an adult to hit a child to make them listen, but it's not okay for the child to hit the adult because the adult's not listening to them? No, absolutely not. First and foremost, using violence. What are we, a bunch of chimps still in the jungle? Like, give me a fucking break. Like, just grow up. And that's what I'm really trying to figure out, is how to efficiently help people become more mature, more emotionally stable, and get it to a point. You know, I have so many people be like, wow, we need poor people like you. Oh, well, read this, read that. Oh, no. Didn't you just say you need more people like me, but you won't be one of those people? It's been confusing my whole life, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get to the gym and I work on my pull-ups and such. But I needed this entry for myself to listen to remember that that really is my passion. My passion is realizing that, look, the world's being run by incompetent people, not bad people, not horrible people, but incompetent. And how do we put more efficient and more competent systems in place so that we raise more generations with more and more competency? The goal of a parent should be that your child is better than you, is more competent than you, more intelligent than you, has a better life than you. And it just boggles me how many people want to make sure that their children sit down, shut up, don't talk, don't try, don't learn, don't explore, don't think for yourself. And then they wonder why 20 years later they don't think, don't say anything, don't do anything, don't have a job, don't have success. Like, they're just fucking idiots. Don't do anything for yourself, and then suddenly when you turn 16, 18, why can't you do anything? You've never let me do it. Like, I'm so needing to figure out how to efficiently put these systems into place globally so that we can stop this stupidity. We are all capable of much greater intelligence than what society is allowing us to do, and I do firmly understand that it starts with this outdated notion of religion. It starts with this outdated notion of a family unit, a single father, a single mother to a single group of children, which is completely wrong, by the way. Completely wrong. That is not natural. That is not how it works at all. Over the generations, it was manipulated because you'd have an alpha male who would be able to handle everything, and the sub-beta males were, you know, going around and wandering around because they couldn't find any females. And it wasn't working as far as trying to build soldiers, as far as trying to build societies, as far as trying to protect societies, because nobody needed to stay. Like, why would I stay if I don't gain anything? So when they started doing this notion of a singular God, they were able to start bringing people together to a singular idea. I understand that helped to evolve it. And then when they started this notion of a single male to a single female, that understood it, because that's now making sure that you have a stronger workforce. If a beta male is guaranteed to have a female, they're going to stick around. They've got a reason to go there. And we've slowly and surely been there. And the number of women who've been convinced that, oh, well, it's romantic to be someone's property. I'm not your property, period. It's romantic to get a diamond ring. He just paid for your loyalty. That's not romantic at all. That's called economics. So I'm understanding, and I'm blessed. I mean, this is not me. I am not some messiah. I am not getting my wisdom from some magical being in the sky. This is lifetimes, multiple lifetimes of people learning and understanding through their entire life and putting it out there in the written form, then in the video form, in the audio form, so that people like me can be well informed. And I understand that, and I know it is my obligation, it is my duty in my life to transfer this knowledge in a format that the next generation can consume and build from. I know that. I just am trying to figure out what that format is, if that makes sense. All right. It's now been 24 minutes. I need to go to the gym. But don't forget that, woman. Your passion. Don't forget it. I know I got scared of it. I know that at times I'm not as powerful as the entire world, and that's scary. But I am as powerful as any human being can be, and therefore I need to learn how to use that power to empower the next generation. Oh wait, this one.